Hello folks and welcome to another ICE video. Today we have something pretty special, which is my favorite draft format of all time. That is of course Modern Horizons. They are live, the drafts are live in MTGO for a very limited time. I think that I have like a day and 12 hours to finish this draft, but hopefully we're gonna get to finish it up real quick. I did exactly one draft this time around, which I uploaded to my Patreon. So hopefully we get something sweet here. Okay, this is a pretty interesting pack. So number one, we have Abominable Trifolk, which is one of the absolute best payoffs to be in the Snow deck, which is one of the most powerful strategies. It is fairly different from the way that Snow decks look in Kaldheim Limited. So it should be pretty different. I think that this is the best card in the pack though. This is it's an okay card. It's pretty good in the ninjas deck, which is my favorite archetype, but it's kind of okay. Like it's not even one of the good ninjas. This is an enabler in both the goblins deck, the sacrifice deck, and the ninjas deck to an extent as well. And Pyrophobia is just a very solid removal spell. Snow-covered plains is just one of the snow lands. I think we're gonna start off this draft with the Abominable Trifolk. Hopefully we get to Wheel Merit Lage's Slumber, but it's a lot, like this card is just a lot better, so we're gonna go with the Trifolk. Now what? Well, we do have a snow-covered forest, sorry, which is the best out of all the snow lands. So that one is pretty high in my list of cards that I want to see. Manowar is very good in a bunch of different archetypes. It's very good in the ninjas deck. It's very just overall it's just an amazing card. Even like if we do get into the snow deck, I think I would definitely be playing Manowar. Wall of Blossoms overall also a great card. It's a no-4 for free basically, just clogs up the ground and it's just overall very powerful. But I think we have probably the best card for us in the pack would be Manowar here. But I think I am interested. I haven't drafted Snow in a really long time, and it is a very cool archetype. So I think I'm gonna kind of try to take all of the Snowlands very highly, so that hopefully we get to pick up a very solid Snow deck. So This is an extremely high big snow-covered forest. Here we could do a little bit the same, but like Spring Blue Drone, this card is just very good. It enables not only the snow deck, obviously, because we can sack a land and go get our snow cards instead. Not only does it do that, but it also is an enabler for the lands in the graveyard synergies. It also ramps, fixes your mana. Spring Blue Druid is definitely first pick material, so we're gonna go with the Druid. Crows and Tusker is also a very good one. Of course, Snow-covered forest, we just picked it up, so same thing here. Ikite is very solid in both the ninjas archetype as an enabler, and it's a beater in the blue-red deck, which draws multiple cards in the turn. This is another card from that, good in that archetype specifically. But yeah, so we're gonna take Spring Blue Druid. If this weren't here, I would take Crows and Tusker or the Snow Forest, but like Spring Blue Druid is just amazing here. Now what? Wow, this is a late Manowar and a super late Moonblade Shinobi. This honestly just kind of tells me that nobody is interested in ninjas, because this is super late. This card is very good. So I think even though it's not looking like we are even close to the ninjas deck, I think the pick here is between Manowar and the Shinobi. This is close. This is very close. Snow Swamp is okay, but you know, I'd rather go for something else. I think I'm gonna go with Manowar. Man, passing this Shinobi makes me super sad. Manowar is just too good to pass up here, though. Helps stabilize. Oh wow, yeah. This is one of the payoffs for the ninja deck. Should we move into the ninja deck here? I kind of don't want to. So far we're blue-green snow-ish. I guess if this wheels, I'm gonna move into the ninja deck, I guess. But as of right now, we can take the Snow-Covered Swamp or we can take the Corrosive Tusker. I think I'm gonna go with the Tusker. It just opens up for it basically makes any splash just very easy possibility. Anurid is great. Sinkhole is one of the best removal spells in the format, so I think we're gonna go with this. Bastion is an interesting land. It's basically a man land and it becomes a a 2/3 artifact creature, and when it deals combat damage to a creature, you basically tap that creature and it doesn't untap in the next turn. Anurid is a playable green card, so is Twin Silk Spider. But I think that Sinkhole is just too good of a removal spell to pass up here. Snow-Covered Island is very sexy too as well. I guess that... Yeah, I guess let's try to make sure that we get all of her snow. Like this is just so good of a land. If this were any other snow land that's not blue or green, I would pass it. But with it being in one of the colors that we're looking for, we probably have to pick it here. This is probably like an easy snow-covered mountain. Nothing in the rest of the pack really excites me. Talisman of Creativity is interesting, but obviously for us, which are looking to get into a powerful snow deck, the Snow-Covered Mountain is going to be better for us. Ooh, nice. Rime Tender is one of the payoffs for being in the snow deck. 2 mana, untaps no permanent, by the way. This doesn't only untap lands, so you can have like surprise blockers with Abominable Treefolk and stuff. Everdream is very good. The idea and the combo with a card like Everdream is you splice it with a card like Weather the Storm. So what you do is like your opponent plays a couple of spells, and then on your opponent's end step you do 2 mana to Weather the Storm, and you splice the Everdream. So every copy of Weather the Storm draws you a card. Rime Tether is just great here. It's exactly the kind of card that we're looking for. So this is the pack that we opened. We didn't wield a land. None of these cards are particularly exciting for us. None of them really work with what we're doing. So I guess I'm just taking the Elk, which is just like an okay creature. It's not even very good. We're going to hope that we don't have to play it. We could also just take the Ninja and hope that we wheel the other stuff. But like, we're pretty solidly green at this point. I don't think that we should be moving onto Ninjas. And we get rewarded with Mother Bear. This card is great. It's a 2 mana 2/2. And then in the mid to late game, you just get you spend 5 mana and you get 2 2/2 tokens. So this card is great. It's card advantage. It's a 2-drop in the early game, which can trade early. Awesome card. Another Tusker. All right. So it seems like nobody's really going too hard on green. So we're kind of like mono green so far with a couple of blue splashes. Fountain of Ichor is like it's not great or anything, but meh, it is a mana fixer, of course, and then it becomes a creature later in the game, so it's the pick here, but I'm not too excited about it. Pillage is maybe just a bad sideboard card, but like whatever, that's fine. Twin Silk Spider is huge. Like we're actually happy to see this card because it helps us stabilize. Nimble Mungus is just bad. Like I've never seen Nimble Mungus come down and actually be a good card, even when you have the threshold activated. It's just not a good card, man. This draft is trying to tell me something. But yeah, I'm not gonna pick this. So our options are Rot Widow pack, actually kind of nice with Twin Silk Spider. Springbloom Druid, obviously. This card is just awesome. Another Twin Silk Spider, Grave Shifter, card advantage, just overall very, very solid. Snow Island is interesting too, of course. I think I'm between both of these cards. I think I'm going to go with the Druid. There is a chance that we actually just wheel this, because not many decks are going to be interested in it. You're going to see that there's a Splicer skill here, though. This is another of the Splice cards, and then you same combo with Weather the Storm, and you can get a bunch of 3/3s. So this is another card that I'm going to be looking to see if I can wheel as well. But yeah, we're going to go with Springbloom Druid. Factor Fiction is great. Mob is kind of what we're looking for. We don't have any removal spells so far. Astrolabe would also be awesome. Do we have any graveyard synergies? Not really. Just Factor Fiction. The good thing is that we basically can splash whatever we want. Like our mana is going to be great with double Springbloom, double Tusker. So I think that just picking the mob here is going to be fine. We're looking to wheel Foff. Foff is just so good though. We're not getting the mob back. That's obviously not going to happen. Choking Tethers is okay. Like, we would play this, obviously. We would play this. I think I'm supposed to take the mob because we have no removal so far. Oh man, I really don't want to pass Factor Fiction. This card is just too much fun. Let's just pick it. Not how you want to be making picks, but it's fun. Astrolabe is obviously great. It means that our mana is always going to be perfect. Savage Swipe seems fine with... it's basically a 1 mana removal spell, and we have some like pretty solidly sized creatures so far. But Astrolabe is just too great for us. Of note, we did not wheel the Married Lage's Slumber, so that is definitely important for us to be aware of. Murasa Behemoth or Snow-Covered Swamp. We're not gonna wheel the Behemoth, and it's just a fine creature. Yeah, sure. Squirrel Nest is interesting. Definitely a combo with Rime Tender. So I guess we're picking Squirrel Nest here. We're passing a lot of Snowlands, but hopefully we get to wheel some of them. Cancrix is great. Like, this is one of the payoffs that we get from being snow. Like, this thing actually mills very, very quickly. And not only that, but also it's a 0-4 in the early game. So here we're taking land over Rime Tender. Yeah, I guess that we have to take lands at this point. We've been passing lands a little bit too aggressively, so another Squirrel Nest. Well, now I really wish I had the Rime Tender, right? Because we could really go off with both of these Squirrel Nests. We seem like these lands are going pretty late, so probably I am assuming that there's not many Snow drafters at this table. Maybe me and maybe somebody else. But it's possible that just nobody's drafting Snow right now. This deck is not bad, honestly, for being like a 2. For being like halfway through pack 2. Like, I'm fairly happy about this deck, and we still have 1 full pack remaining. Basically, any splash we want to make is very, very doable, and our fixin' is great. Oof, yes. We wheel the Pack Widow, Rot Widow pack, whatever. So we're definitely going to be picking this. String of Disappearance is a fine bounce spell, but not something that I'm too excited about. So just going to take the Widow and be happy about it. This is one of the possible win conditions for the idea is, to turn into a mill deck and you can replicate a bunch. There is a deck that Sam Black kind of figured out with this card, which is super, super cool and very tough to draft. And the idea is you constantly mill yourself, and then you get to a point where you're just shuffling back only the best cards in your deck. It's another stream of thought. This is just a card I'm picking that I wish, like, all of these are just not particularly playable cards. Maybe we're playing against an aggressive deck, we bring this in or whatever. Like, all of the other cards are just not good. Geomancer's Gambit is mana fixing, but I guess Spore Frog is a sideboard card. Both of these cards we're not going to play. That card we're definitely not playing. Alright, so what am I looking for in this last pack? Definitely some payoffs. And we're probably going to be trying to pick some more snow permanents. We have a fair amount. We have Astrolabe, we have Cancrix, Rime Tender, and we have Treefolk. I'm looking for maybe more lands, preferably forests. We're going to see what we got here. Island is fine, but the best card in this pack right now is Ingenious Infiltrator. This card is very, very good. Like, very, very good. So we're probably going to go with this. And this is obviously at its best in the Ninja deck, but it is just a perfectly serviceable card. So we're gonna be looking to try to wheel Tornado, which is a fine sideboard card. Obviously, the Snow Island is gonna be great if we see that come around. Choking Tethers is the fine card that we may play. But Infiltrator is just great. We're basically like Bug Snow so far. I'm probably fine with late game drops. Pondering Mage is great though. Pondering Mage is very, very good. Just 5 mana, 3/4, and it basically is a ponder when it resolves. So you look at the top 3 and you get to shuffle them away if you don't like them, or you just draw a card. Savage Swipe is again very, very good removal, and we do have a reasonable amount of big creatures. Snow-Covered Swamp is also good for us. Pondering Mage is just great though. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go with Pondering Mage. Sweet. So we're probably gonna get Snow Island here. None of the other cards are particularly exciting. Settle Beyond Reality is definitely a great removal spell, and it can potentially be solid value because you exile a creature you don't control and then you blink something of yourself. So we can get like extra value with Pondering Mage. We can get extra value with Abominable Trifolk. So this is definitely a fine card, but I don't think it's going to be better than some on-color Snowlands. We'd rather have the island or the swamp. I guess the island. Yep. Another Treefolk. This is just great. Lightning Elemental, great card. Urza's Rage, very, very powerful as well. But like it's looking like Treefolk is going to be amazing for us here. Trumpeting Herd is another amazing card. It's basically 4 mana for 2 3/3 elephant tokens, which is huge. But Treefolk is just exactly what we're looking for here. Land didn't make it this far, but a mob did, so we're still pretty happy. Ruination Rioters, not an amazing card. Even when you are in the archetype, it's really tough unless you have a very, very good version of the red-green deck, which cares about lands being in the graveyard. Like this card is really tough to pull off. Talisman, I would probably also play, but just mob is great here. Another druid? Jeez, you're killing me here. Oh man, I probably have to pick the druid. I think it's between druid and Pondering Mage. We don't have a particularly great Cancrix deck. Huh, I wonder if I'm just supposed to take the Pondering Mage here instead. Just make sure we have a little bit of late game card advantage. I'm probably going to be playing, like, our fixing is good enough that I think that I'm just going to be playing the Snow-Covered Mountain just as a colorless source. Yeah, okay. Snow-Covered Plains, again, just we probably have enough playables at this point. So I'm okay just playing a colorless source because our fixing is so good. Same reason here. And took a Cultivator, definitely an interesting card, but not for us. Basically, you get to cycle all of your lands. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, what did we get back? This is sort of the pack we opened. We got Tornado or Rebuild. Probably gonna go with Tornado, but we're not gonna main deck this. Nobody's on the Goblins deck. I'm probably not gonna play a Windy Way. The rest of the cards are not particularly relevant. Another Stream of Thought, another Goblin Matron. Jeez, if somebody were in the Goblins deck, they would have a sick deck. Colorless Land. Lava Dart is... No, it's actually not great. Never mind. Yeah, we're just playing this just to trigger Cancrix and just to make our tree folk bigger, but we have literally no black cards and no red cards. Our mana's gonna be great though. I'm not particularly worried. We might actually play this. Maybe it's better than the Fountain of Ichor. Probably not. 4 stream of consciousnesses. Streams of thought, sorry. Alright. We have double Tree Folk. We have Ingenious Infiltrator, which is obviously good with Tree Folk. We don't have that much on the form of removal. So that's the only issue that I see with this deck. We do have some pretty nice top end though, with Crows and Tuskers, Behemoth, Wandering Mage, and the nice thing is that we can enable the Behemoth with our 2 Springbloom Druids. Double Squirrel Nest is also very, very nice, and we can combo that with Rhyme Tender, so we're definitely going to be trying to make sure that we throw Squirrel Nest in one of our snow cover lands, which we have a fair amount of. So yeah, this deck seems good. Do we want Talisman? Do I want Talisman or Fountain? Maybe these becoming a 3/3 can be relevant, but this just ramps better. This just works better. This fixes better. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go for this. Alright, so 17 lands. 17 lands, so we basically just add 1 swamp so we can get this pack and the mob. We're gonna add 1 swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 islands. And then 5, 6 forests. Nah, let's do something like this. So this is 7 forests with Astrolabe and with Fountain of Ichor. Honestly, I think that I just want to do this. Just 7, 8 green sources, and then just green sources enable everything else. We only have like double blue in Pondering Mage. And again, like our fixing is just stellar. So, all right. This list is pretty solid. This deck right here is pretty solid. All right, sweet. I'll see you there for round number 1. All right, here we go. Yeah, don't mind if I do. Skip this hand. By the way, nice little nice little life hack. Whenever you're drafting an MTGO, make sure you take a picture of your deck. That way, you know, whenever you're trying to figure out what your outs are or stuff like that, you can do so very nicely. I think I'm gonna just play this and say go, so that we can play Cancrix on 2. We can go Cancrix on 2, then Springbloom on 3, get a couple of lands, trigger Cancrix a couple of times. It's pretty nice. Cancrix is not really a win condition right now, but it can become one. And it looks like we're playing a mirror, so... Oh, I have 6 through my turn. Well, that's a way to lose this game, I guess. So I guess that now we can Fountain, and next turn we can Cancrix into Springbloom. Kind of make up for the... that was really bad. That was really bad. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Let's see who meals each other first. The race has begun. Our colors don't really matter, so I'm just gonna make sure that we get our save targets and yield. Uh-oh. Well, my opponent has a Genesis. And score all possibilities. That was a bad mail for us. We gave them a bunch of value. Whoopsies. Oh wow, okay, yeah, we're gonna lose this race. Yeah, our opponent's deck seems to be better than ours. Alright, we got a Mother Bear though. Let's go. Oh wow, yeah. It looks like our opponent has the better snow deck. They're gonna mill us faster. So they have double Cancrix. Oh no, Tree Folk. My opponent's deck is pretty sweet. I'm gonna take a chomp there. I guess that the way we win this is by racing, so let's try to do that, I guess. Like, it doesn't matter if my opponent has all the mill dudes in the world. Like, if we just get to attack them for 8 3 times, we're gonna win, right? If we get them to 0 before they get us to 0 cards in the library, we're gonna win. Seems like they're ahead in the race, though. I will tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Can we find another one of our tree folks here? That would be awesome. These Cancrixes are owning me, though. Glacier Revelation. Okay. Opponent's not afraid of... Okay, so they are playing a bunch of Stream of Thoughts, so we're probably going to sideboard into those cards. We're probably going to sideboard into our own Stream of Thoughts, I'll tell you that much. That's going to mill my opponent. They have another Cancrix and they can get it back with Genesis. Yeah, we're super dead here. We are super, super dead. We're not going to get to race them. They have 4 Cancrix? Oh my god. My opponent's deck is kind of nutty. My opponent's deck, they have Tree Folk too? Oh my, wow, yeah. My opponent has one of the best snow decks I've seen in a really long time. Yeah, they're gonna get back to Cancrix and they're gonna mill us, so... Okay, my opponent is playing the better mill deck, so I think I want to... We're gonna sideboard into the 4 streams of thought. And we're gonna be trying to play that fight. This guy doesn't do anything. Jeez, they even have freaking Genesis. How am I supposed to beat this? 26 Spider doesn't seem like it's gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna try to basically play a long game where we attempt to just stop my opponent from milling me by using my 4 Stream of Thoughts. Pondering Mage actually lines up very poorly against my opponent's stuff. Root Widow Pack, I guess, can give me value. Foff is weird. All of my cards are just so weird. My opponent has a bunch of X4s though. This gets through X4s. This just drains them. Can get a bunch of 1/1s. I think I want to cut my own Cankrixes. But I just want to play creatures that line up well against what my opponent's doing. I did not see removal from them. I did not see removal from their side, so... guess we keep this. You obviously want to leave your Snowlands in hand until the last moment, because you can potentially trigger your Cankrix. But it was 5. I really want to make sure that we can find at least one stream of thought. Yeah, rank 10 just has the higher upside. So if my opponent Cankrixes me here... oh. Mana doesn't work. Maybe we can aggro them out. We may be able to aggro them out. So we're gonna attack first. They don't take the trade. Play Mother Bear. Frost Wallow. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're gonna swing here. And then I'm definitely gonna Mana War. But I think I guess it doesn't matter which one I bounce, right? So I'm gonna bounce the bigger one. Next turn we do get to play Behemoth. Okay, Cankrix is just brutal. Though it does enable our Behemoth. It does enable our Behemoth if they mill a land. So that's important. So they have a Walla in hand. They left 2 cards on top. It's Bad Omen, and we drew. We're not drawing well. So here they're gonna take 2 probably, and oh, they trade. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we can raise here. Like they mill me and they mill a land. Oh, come on. Mill a land, please. Let me have an 8/8. Mill that land, please. Glacial Revelation. Ugh, they found Tree Folk. Ugh, it's so gross. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. We drew a land every single turn. Besides the Behemoth, I think. So I guess that technically we do want to... Oh, really? Come on. I guess that all of my lands are in my hand, so I guess it does make sense for them to not mill lands. Okay, finally they mill a land. Fourth. What happened? Wow. Why would they concede there? We don't have lethal. They block here. I guess they block here. They trade here. They probably double chump. I don't understand that. I don't understand that concession. It makes no sense to me. I'll take it though. I'll take it because their deck is a lot better than ours. A lot better than ours. It's not that ours is bad. It's just that my opponent's is above average. Do the squirrel nests even do anything for me? I guess it's not particularly easy for my opponent to... It's not particularly easy for my opponent to get through, right? Like, it's probably not easy for them to kill me with damage. I think I like the squirrel nests better than the Pondary Mage because the squirrel nest at least goes wide. Yeah, the Cian's not gonna cut it. Perfect mana, but not too much to do with it. This is better. This is certainly better. I think we bottom squirrel nest. Okay, having access to one of these is obviously good for us. Best top deck here is probably... Oh, I'll trade here. Talked so much about how good my mana was, and then I'm just getting punished. We are gonna get to Treefolk now, which should be pretty solid. Huh. Gonna tap that and keep it tapped. Next turn we get to cycle and we get to Infiltrator, which is not bad. Gonna cycle for basic swamp. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so I guess we're gonna cycle for another forest then. The snow covered variety. And then we're gonna play Rime Tender. And now we're gonna get to start spitting out. We're gonna get to start spitting out 1/1s with our squirrel nest. And our Treefolk is a 6/6, which is no joke. But this thing is real. This thing is actually real. It's gonna be a 5/5 flyer if my opponent activates Monstrosity. So that is a clock. They got to grow this too this turn. If I block, I take 8. We still die to this. Don't even get to trade with the Abominable Trifolk. So I guess we just have to draw the mob. Mob or we gotta draw mob or a Manowar. If we find a land, oof, that's huge. That is insanely huge. Okay. Tap that and keep it tapped. We get to swing for 8 this turn. So we die to removal on the Treefolk. But if I attack with Mama Bear, again, I didn't see any removal from my opponent. But I attack for 8 here, opponent goes down to 8. And next turn, I think that we're supposed to attack with Mama Bear, but we're not supposed to attack with the Rhyme Tender. Or we can actually attack with the Rhyme Tender. To entice my opponent to trade. Yeah, because if my opponent has removal on either one of these, we just die. So I think it's better to play like this and sneak in the 2 extra points of damage. So if my opponent has removal, we're dead. But if they don't, we're in fine shape. 7/7s versus 5/5. My opponent says can't beat 2. We're gonna get there? Are we gonna get there? My opponent's deck was so much better than mine. But we just luck sacked the Astrolabe into the second Treefolk. Like this is just such a beast. This is such a beast. Like they say can't beat 2, but they're not conceding. Like what are they doing? Like are you conceding or not? We definitely have the play available to us, by the way. Like if my opponent they say I think your deck is still worse than mine, but you got extremely lucky to get 2 of those. Not going to give you any credit for the win. Thanks for letting me know. Oh man. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, I'm having a good time, but I'm, you know, at the same time I kind of want my opponent to just concede. I might just edit this part of the video until my opponent wins, but I don't know. It's one of those things where, you know, my opponent can be just like, well, gotcha. I'm just complaining in chat, but in reality, it's like I'm still not dead. Like, what is that, right? So we attack with both. Take 2 plus 3. That's 5, 6, 7. Like, what the fuck, right? Like, they're still not dead. We have literally nothing. They haven't lost. They go to 1. And then they attack with a flyer. What's going on? Oh, they're still going. It wasn't lethal! It wasn't lethal! My opponent was so busy. They were so busy salting off. They weren't dead. They were not dead. They go to 1, right? They take 3 from here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They go to 1. All right, so let this be a lesson. It's probably better for you to focus on the actual game and do the math instead of salting off in chat like this. It's probably gonna help your win percentage. I mean, it's all the mind games, right? It's all in the mind games. See you for the next round. Welcome to round number 2. After a delightful first round, we find ourselves 1-0 somehow. Hey, my opponent says they're a big fan. Good luck. Oh, thank you. Good luck to you as well. This hand is pretty slow. This hand is pretty slow. If my opponent is in an aggro deck, they're not in an aggro deck. I can't pass up on this value. Well, I guess it turns out they are an aggro deck. That's a great draw, actually. If my idea is to beat an aggro deck. Ooh, they're in a cycling deck? Please tell me they're in a cycling deck. I'm saying to my opponent, please tell me you got the Astral. Maybe they know about Astral Ren. Of course, Astral Ren. I wish I'm not that lucky, says. Man, that is a change of pace, right? Going from the salty opponent in the previous round to like an actually nice to see opponent. Now we get to kill the spider, which is pretty nice here. And then we have a solid blocker. Next turn we get to Tree Folk. Get that going. All right, that's pretty solid. So my opponent's playing a go white strategy. Hopefully they don't have. So the idea for this strategy is you are basically, I think I'm probably trading this for anything. So you're basically trying to play a bunch of shapeshifters, and then you use the slivers which boost your your abilities. It's a big boy. Stop that one. Just want a big beater here. Okay, so they have a bunch of changelings. It's gonna be if this is a big boy already, it's gonna become even bigger. So 1, 2, 3, Spring Bloom. Sack this. Get Island and Plains. It's a 7/7 now. Get in there, Treefolk. This is a nice blocker from the change lane for the change lane. We don't have double green, but we can cycle a Tusker. We're probably cycling one of these Tusker to get another green source. We can also just keep growing this Treefolk. I mean, it's a 7/7, like that's just big enough, I think. And then we can probably gonna get in there with these two. That's fine. We're winning this race fairly easily. In fact, that opens the attack for the Spring Bloom. Interesting. Does that mean ephemerate? If they ephemerate, let's cycle first, because we're gonna cycle one of these, I think. We can make this an 8/8, then it doesn't trade, so that's pretty exciting. I think I'm gonna get this is just fine. That's actually not bad. So if my opponent, I guess that they can trade an ephemerate and both of this for my Treefolk, which is fine. Generous gift. Yeah, that's a fine exchange in my book. Let's Elk here. And next turn, this is going to get Trample Indestructible, and we're going to have a 6/5. We can also just Rot Widow pack, but I want to combo that with the Spider. Okay, that's a good card. This is a very, very good card. Whenever basically all of my opponent's creatures are going to start coming into play with +1/+1 counters on them, which is obviously pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gonna hardcast this bad boy, and we're gonna serve. This just trades with the 3/1. This just trades with the 3/1. Is that something I'm interested in doing? I guess my opponent could be playing a low white strat, but this is actually just holding the. No, yeah, but that limits my opponent's double block, so I think that's fine. I think that's a trade I'm okay making. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But they go down to. They're down to 9. The Elk is getting in there next turn again. The Elk is getting in there again next turn. That's huge. That's huge. That's one of the best white cards in the entire set. Battle Screech comboing with Good Fortune Unicorn basically means that my opponent gets 8 2/2 flyers off of a single card, which is just insane. This does have reach though. Spider does have reach. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, Fountain of Ichor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rot Widow pack. Triggers the Elk. Actually, it's possible that I should have done this the other way around. This is lethal, so they have to trade. Okay, we may be just fine here. Take a chomp down to 5. We have the Widow. They still don't have... Oh, they could have lethal though. So I guess I am just playing the Twin Silk Spider. It's bad if my opponent answers my Rot Widow pack, but like this is lethal next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is just lethal next turn. They serve with everything. They take down a flyer. There are a couple of things that kill me here. So there's a spell that gives the entire team +2/+0, I think, or just +1. So we have to make sure that we don't die to that. So we're at, if they do that, we go to 1 here. So we probably want to block like this. If we block like this, or Rot Widow pack survives, we get a counter. Yeah, this is just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we take 12. We can even beat another pump spell. Yeah, that's the card that I was playing around. That's the card that I was playing around. Sweet. So my opponent has a nice little tokens deck going on over there. Spore Frog seems just oddly fine against them. Like it effectively just blanks their thingy. Which is hilarious. Mob doesn't sound good, but like they have to have a good creature, so I'm like the one of Mob is fine. I think I kind of like the situation that I got going on here. Spore Frog is kind of cute though against my opponent's pump effects. So maybe cut the Infiltrator. Kind of want to cut the Cancrix. I don't think that this is going to be a win condition for us in this matchup. I spoke so highly of my mana. So if we find the green sword, this hand is fine. So I'm just gonna keep it and bottom the Pondering Mage. So any green sword just gives me perfect mana, which I think it's an okay exchange for us. And now that we don't have Cancrix, yeah, there you go. I guess they did show me a card that... Yeah, so let's play this. Spring Bloom. Gonna sack the forest and we're gonna get snow-covered forest and snow-covered island. And this coming turn, we probably have to mob this thing. Okay, this means the no battle screech, which is good for us. That's pretty good, yeah. Still pretty good. 1, 2, 3. I really feel like I have to take a turn off to kill that unicorn, otherwise it's gonna get out of hand so quickly. And I guess I play around ephemerate. Take a bunch of damage here. Yeah, this is what I was saying about with the changelings earlier. So we cycle Tusker. Cycle Tusker for a basic forest. And now we play Druid. Sack the forest for another forest and a basic island, I think. So now next turn we're gonna get to Tree Folk. That doesn't look good for me. We get to Tree Folk plus Spider. I'm gonna take the damage here. We go fairly low, but yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good combo. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's this guy. Tap. Oh, man, all of their creatures just line up so well against ours. That thing, I guess, kind of doesn't really matter. It's insane the amount of work that this thing did just by putting 2 counters on the Twin Silk Spiders. Like, it's just so powerful. They just line up so well against all of my creatures now. Tree Folk is definitely good here. Tree Folk is definitely good. Next turn we do get to Rhyme Tender plus, okay, so they can't really have the +2/+0, so throw 3 in there and we take a chump here. They're 1 mana short of the +2/+0, so although I guess that I want to, let's do this. First strike, kill this. Yeah, but then if they use a bump spell here, we just lose. So yeah, I think these are the blocks that I want to be making. Saves the most life, potentially trades with the spider or with a bump spell. Gets rid of the sliver. They do have generous gift. Okay, what's the trick? Let's see. Okay, just pump spell. They did Elvish Fury with buyback. Elvish Fury with buyback. 3, 4, 5. So we Pondering Mage here, and the idea is to look for Mana War. I don't think that's good enough. I mean, they do have 4 attackers and we do have 4 blockers, though. So we can kind of grind them down. And if we keep this, then we can Astrolabe into Behemoth. I just feel like I want to find another Tree Folk or a Manowar here, so I think I'm just gonna shuffle this. Squirrel Nest is very, very interesting. Squirrel Nest is very, very interesting. Squirrel Nest is very, very interesting. Huh. Elvish Fury is +2/+0, but they can cast it for 1. That is fine. Okay, so we block there and we block there. They can probably only save 1 of these. And then we jump here. We take 4, but then we start spitting out 2 squirrel tokens a turn. Like they can save this guy or this guy, but not both. Super interesting game. Super, super interesting game. Sure. Okay, so we get rid of the Changeling here. And we also get rid of the Elvish Fury, by the way. One, two, three. Squirrel Nest. Land. Pass the turn. Yeah, that's pretty good there. It's pretty good. It's a lethal army, and we're out of Tool 6 Spider, so let's see what we can fall off into. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent goes this against everything else, because that's probably the correct split. So here they're just giving me a land for free, because I'm probably going to take the only card that means that I'm not just straight up dead next turn. Oh yeah, big time. You choose this pile. That's probably not a great split that my opponent did there, unless they know something that I don't know, which is possible. That was a good FOF though, because now I have the fixing to make counters. I have the Men of War. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This. So I guess I'd rather get a counter instead of bounce one of their tokens. We probably can't beat the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We probably can't beat the +2/+2 thingy. So we have to accept defeat there. This is not Sorcerer's Beat, is it? No, it's not. Sweet. Awesome. So we can start spitting out 2 spiders a turn now. So they play a land. And what? The Elvish Fury is gone. They serve with everything. Okay, so Black Source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exile Infiltrator. It also drains. I guess we're chomping, so I'd rather chomp with this with a squirrel token for obvious reasons. So we're dead to my opponent's pump spell if they have it, but we beat everything else. So if they have the pump spell, we just don't have enough blockers, so it's just what it is. All right. So I guess we just get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This card hard carried. This card hard carried here. Can we start getting in there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I don't want to block with Broad Widow Pack again, so I guess I don't want to get in there right now. It does look good for us. Make it 1/1. Tap. Make it 1/1. Block flyer. Block that thing. Lock here. Jump. Jump. Yeah, I don't think there's any trample effect anyway, so. And that was their best stop deck there, so good for them for sure. We're still looking good though. So this costs 2 mana. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I guess the Mama Bear is just better. And they can't have like a removal spell for my second spider and also a way to pump, so all right. This deck is kind of doing it. So now we just double drain. 5. Definitely a huge deal that my opponent split the cards in a less than ideal way. This spider did so much work. Wow, that was really impressive. Great showing for the Rot Widow pack. All right, see you for the finals. All right, folks, welcome to the finals of this MH1 draft. Okay. This hand is okay. Maybe I just shouldn't be main decking the crab at all. Gonna play the island here because okay, there you go. Speaking of, oh no, I gave him value. We do get to ponder mage next turn, which is nice. Sure, spider's fine. We're gonna take 4. This guy is very, very good. This guy, it's basically a 2-mana 4/4, which is obviously no joke. Bellowing Elk trades with that guy. I think I want to Ponder Mage though, because if we find Frostwalla, because if we find the one of the Tree Folk, we're gonna be looking good. Ding 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 ding. Actually, both of these are very nice. Both of these are very, very nice. Wandering Mage kind of clogs the board here. Snow Island for OP. Oh, they have their own Tree Folk. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I guess we're gonna have to Tree Folk here instead of playing the other thing. Because we gotta make sure that we keep their Tree Folk down. 2, 3, 4. Our Tree Folk is larger than their Tree Folk. They do have Mother Bear though. Man, like these Cankrakes are hurting more than they are helping, honestly. We also don't have double green for this Squirrel Nest. Like, we're drawing a forest, but... So I guess that means that I'm not blocking with the Rime Tender, so I should serve with it. Although they do have 1/2s. This might actually matter in a racing situation. And I guess my opponent would be throwing away one of their dudes. Next turn we do have Pondering Mage back up. So as long as they don't have another one of these... Ooh, that's foil. It's kind of gross foiling work. Okay, grows the Tree Folk, which is bad. Also, this allows us to make the Elk indestructible at instant speed, which is kind of nice. Don't have good attacks. Sweet. Forest. Squirrel Nest. So we're going to try to aim for a double block here, but if my opponent has the end step off, that would be a disaster. And they do. No! Brutal. So the actual snow stuff versus this stuff, because this mills them. Yeah. Okay. So they got the 2 lands and the golem, which makes sense. But we're gonna get to trade Tree Folk for Tree Folk here anyway, unless they have a trick, which I doubt they have a trick. Definitely hoping we're no removal. Oh, wow. This is very, very tasteful. That is very, very tasteful. I guess we take it here. It's gonna be even bigger next turn. Scour all possibilities. I mean, if we do find Astrolabe into another Treefolk, like second Treefolk probably wins. Second Treefolk probably just wins. Where's second Treefolk or Manowar? Treefolk is of course better because it allows me to attack. It's not bad. Oh, actually it is bad because I don't have black sources. Never mind, I guess. Never mind. How did we manage to never find one of our dudes? How the hell did we manage to never find one of our dudes? It's big ass Treefolk. There's the mama bear. That triggers Rhyme Stag. Just gonna right click attack all. I guess they don't really have great attacks here. Like the Treefolk probably serves. But everything else doesn't really have great attacks. Okay. So definitely doing this. So this blocks here, so yeah, we are at 1, so we have to block everything. But we can Bellowing Elk in front of the stag. Then this in front of this. This in front of this in front of this. Then this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We just throw a bunch of squirrels in front of this. Sure. That sounds about right. So this in front of this in front of this in front of these. No, this actually has to go here. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this jumps here. Yeah. Now we traded with the totem armor. Wait. So now we find the black source. We're actually gonna win. So if we find the black source, or either Astrolabe or Swamp or the cycling guy, we're gonna win. One time, Behemoth, but we don't have, a land in the yard. Oh no! Do we have enough blockers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we do have enough blockers. No, we don't. So we have to basically double chomp here. Oh, brutal. Brutal. Because also the lands would have helped us just mill them. But somehow we managed to not draw our basic swamp and also not draw any of our enablers. Like if we draw a druid, we probably would have been able to mill them at that point, or like another tree folk would have stopped that. Okay, what do you got, opponent? Chiller Pillar. That's actually just lethal by itself next turn. And that also means that I'm dead. If my opponent right-click attacks all. They didn't. They actually didn't. Wow. If they right-click attacked all, I think we were dead. Alright, can I draw my own tree folk or a black source? Spring Bloom. I think you're too late. I think you're too late. But we do get just a nice bit of info on the way out. Man, if we had had basic swamp, would have been golden. Second chiller. Man, if we had had a black source, this even taps for mob. Brutal. I do think that our snow deck might be slightly better than our opponents. It's pretty funny how, like, I think our deck was a lot worse than our opponents in the first round, but we were able to somehow get ahead. And this time I think that our opponents is slightly worse than ours, but we somehow didn't manage to get there. So unlike the first opponent, like this doesn't seem to have a bunch of Cancrixes going on. Oh, this assigns damage equals to his toughness. Whoops. That's why I went to 1 and why my tree folk died. Good to know. I kind of want Tornado here. My opponent has double chiller. Okay. And I feel like I'm not so much into the whole Cancrix thing. Seems like it kind of helps my opponent more than me. Nope. Also, this is kind of bad, but it's better. But almost to 6 as well. Tons of good draws here. Tons of good draws. Interesting. We're probably gonna cycle it. Yeah, definitely cycling it in the face of a stag. Nice. Not nice. Right, not looking good here. If we do get to find an infiltrator though, If we do get to find an infiltrator here, that's gonna be awesome. Infiltrator? One time? Spring Bloom. Okay. I'd rather put it 4-2 in play though. Not likely to trade for my opponent's 4-4 though. Double Mama Bear. Jeez. That sucks. Aha. That's pretty good. So that means that the elk is going to be indestructible in my opponent's turn. So that's why I chose to go for the squirrel nest before. Sure. This is definitely good for my opponent. But at the same time, they're using their mana to make 2/2s instead of using their mana to make big plays, right? So I am kind of okay with that. Come on. That really sucks. That really sucks. I think this elk is doing better job on defense than on the offense. So we would like to find the spider would be nice. Again, tree folk would be great. The ninja would be kind of nutso also. Ninja would also be great. Factor Fiction would be amazing. I guess not bad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This guy. I don't think I'm supposed to serve though. Although I guess I can. The problem is if my opponent has their own tree folk, then we're actually in bad shape. So I think that I'm gonna attack with the behemoth next turn. And we just basically trade for my opponent's board, but they're gonna foff. Man, it's not fair that my opponent's draws are better than mine. I would also like to draw good cards. Pondering Mage. Another Squirrel Nest. Rhyme Tender. Okay, so I at this point I think I have to raise. So here goes nothing. My opponent can throw 4 bears in front of the behemoth. But now they can't get back. So like, wow, they didn't use their mana at all. They just, I guess that they just drew worse than I did. Somehow they found a way to draw worse than even I did. Am I playing this card? There's no way I'm playing this card. Spore Croak sucks. Stream of thought again, like my opponent seems to be a lot more low to the ground, so I don't think I want to be doing stream of thought things. I think we'll just submit here. We just hope that we draw a little bit better. Or that my opponent also draws terribly. Both of those are fine options. If I'm gonna draw poorly, I would like my opponent to draw as poorly as I do. This hand is just awesome, right? We have a mob, any land, and this hand is just incredible. So just gotta draw lands. Just gotta draw lands. This hand is gonna get there. One more land. Bingo. And here I think I'm gonna sack this snow-covered plains to the druid, which sucks a little bit, but I think I have to fix my mana. Yeah, I guess even more so now. Mama bear, get in there. Spring Bloom. Spring Bloom fights. There's the swamp. Well, that gives me a lot of flexibility now. So I guess I still sack the plains. I think no, I guess I sack the island. Just get another island and the forest. But this might come down to a tree folk battle, so Winding Way, probably gonna name creatures. Did find a Twin Silk Spider. Okay, it looks, my creatures look to be better than my opponents at this point in time. One, two, three. I think we start spitting out 1/1s. That seems fine to me. Not that big of a deal. If they have FOF, maybe this is problematic. If they don't have FOF, this seems fine to me. I think I'm gonna Mama Bear. We're gonna casually drop an 8/8. See what my opponent has to say about it. They FOF on end step, that's bad for us. What they do? Those are not great cards though. Well, you can definitely have Nature's Chant. And this is the split, I think. It's nice that this time around we have a mob and we can actually cast it, so they kept both creatures, which is fine. I mean, I do have an 8/8, right? So that's cool. Stag is fine. Voila is fine. Yeah, unless they have their own mob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap that one. Yeah. I'm okay trading Mama Bear. Of note, like this activation is only sorcery speed, so we definitely gotta watch out for that. Show me what you got, opponent. It's pretty good. That's pretty good for sure. Chiller Pillar. Can we just force lethal here? My opponent has one card in hand. I kinda just don't want to use this mob though. The attack. Are you sure you want to attack? Are you sure that attacking is the line, opponent? Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh. So the issue with this... Nah, this is fine. This is just a right-click attack all, if I've ever seen one. Do the math, opponent. Do the math. We get this little surprise point of damage there. And we could mob something. But depending on how my opponent blocks, I'm either gonna mob or I'm just gonna infiltrator. Because we could go for lethal, but if my opponent has the bounce spell, the 1-mana bounce spell, we get kind of blown out. Chiller Pillar chumps. They block everything. So this would put my opponent down to 1. This would put my opponent down to 1, which I'm very okay with. Like, they need to do something. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I definitely want to deploy one more thing, because I don't want my opponent to like play their own Tree Folk and then we just don't have good attacks. But I think that we're just gonna get another trophy here. Dead of Winter. Just casually reaching 1900 limited rating. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Sweet. Let's check out the deck list real quick. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. This format is absolutely delightful, folks. If you have never drafted this and you are a fan of Limited, I think that this is just as good as Limited has ever gotten. I think that this is the best draft format of all time, in my opinion. I've never had like the amount of replayability that this format has is basically unparalleled. The amount of archetypes that you can find is incredible. There's a bunch of super weird things that you can do, like the Stream of Thought deck and like the the deck that plays a bunch of storm cards with Splice. Then you have like token strategies, you have snow, you have like black red sacrifice goblins. Like each color combination has so many archetypes engraved into them. It's just amazing. Like I really strongly recommend it if you haven't done it. The only downside the format has, of course, is that it's very rarely alive. like they, for whatever reason, they don't make it live in MTGO as often, and it's fairly expensive. It is fairly expensive. It's just 250 play points or 25 tickets, so it's fairly expensive to play. But as long as you keep on 3-0 like I am, you're fine. You're gonna end up plus EV, so don't worry about it. This was awesome. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Support the ICE team. Follow us on Twitter. Follow MTGDC as well as myself, of course. And yeah. Glad that I was able to put this together real quick because it's gonna be done in a day. I'm not gonna be able to draft this in a day anymore, but hopefully you enjoyed it and you had a good time. Please let me know in the comments how you liked it, and I'll see you in the next ICE video. Bye bye.